Hey guys, I'm the Ranger. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to my Lawbreakers guide for the Harrier role. Harrier is probably someone you've seen in the game, being annoying, flying around, and shooting you in the face with a laser constantly, and that's gameplay that you're seeing on the screen now. So the Harrier role is a very awesome role. It is actually my main. I used to be a battle medic main because the grenade launcher, but this laser rifle and the Raycaster jet boots are just too damn fun. Makes me feel like Iron Man. So let's get right into it with a little bit of damage output statistics. So after a little bit of testing, now these numbers aren't completely solid. They may be off by 0.2, 0.3 bits of damage, but the overall damage is, so rounded up or rounded down that it really doesn't matter in a gunfight. And these are perfect damage numbers with a person standing completely still. So hitting somebody out in the open in 0G is going to be a little harder. So you might not get these perfect hits. Anyway. Starting off, we have the melee. The melee attack, which is a double boot stomp that you just saw, it will deal 35 damage. Now, this is actually kind of contrary to other characters that we're testing, Gunslinger and Wraith, who actually deal 75, and from what I hear, that's actually the standard across the board. Now, I'm not sure why Harrier has a lesser melee attack than the rest of the cast, but it's interesting. Maybe because the rest of Harrier's kit is so damaging that they didn't want the melee to also be good in close quarters combat. But the interesting thing about the melee is it's not just a normal kick, it is a double stomp with a slight laser output. As you can see, there's this little puff of fuel that comes out when I use it. But that only happens if you have fuel. So if your fuel meter is completely burned out, you will do a normal one-footed kick. Moving on to the primary weapon, the laser rifle, or its proper name, the Shock Croc. At long range, which is basically max range as far as you can get from someone, it will do 8 damage per tick to the body, meaning that for every basically second you hold it on them, it's going to do 8 points of damage. So not much, but it will be a little bit lethal. And then it will deal 12 per tick to the head. This is again at long range. Moving on to medium range, it will do 16 per tick to the body and 23 per tick to the head. And then at short range, it will do 18 per tick to the body and 27 per tick to the head. So mid to short range, not really a change, but long range is definitely kind of a drop-off for the Harrier. Moving on to laser tag. The first of its abilities is the alternate right-click, or on console, I believe it should be L2. L2 or left bumper or whatever it is, but I'm going off PC, which is right-click. So the alternate fire, it will deal an initial 50 damage when hitting, but after it does, it will give you increased damage against your target. Now, not just from you, but from all incoming damage sources. So that means that if you tag this person with the laser tag, aptly named in my opinion, it will actually increase all damage from your allies as well. So if you tag somebody and somebody else on your team, like a Wraith or a Gunslinger, shoots them, then they will also be dealing increased damage. Now, I didn't test all of that, but let's just say it's a little bit of a boost. Not too great, nothing like a double, except it's got some interesting damage numbers in here. So, at long range for the Harrier, the increased damage you would receive, you will deal 16 as opposed to 8 to the body, and then you also deal 16 to the head, oddly enough. I guess they didn't want long range, like double crits happening on somebody's head. So then you go to medium range. Medium boosted damage is going to be 22 to the body as opposed to 16 before. But surprisingly, this is where it gets really interesting. You will actually deal 65 damage per tick to a head at medium range. 65, which is insane. But the most interesting number comes in the short range category. At short range, your boosted main weapon damage will deal 48 per tick to the body instead of 18. But it will only deal 36 per tick to the head. So it's kind of interesting. So at medium range, you want to hit them in the head after you've hit them with damage boost. But at close range, you want to soak their body for damage, which I found kind of fascinating. So then we have the Raycasters, or the jet boots, as everybody calls them. The Raycasters will do 18 damage per tick. They consume fuel, however, so be careful about that. They are basically how you move, how you go around. So you don't really want to jet boot into a gunfight and then try to use those. but they can be helpful. But 18 per tick, so if you continuously soak somebody for it, now it only lasts for about 2 to 3 seconds before your entire fuel meter is burned away, but that's still a decent bit of damage if you just need to do a little bit more to kill somebody. And it's also a very fun way to kill people. The ultimate is the Convergence, which is this giant chest laser that you saw in earlier gameplay. And there's so much damage output there in such a short amount of time that calculating that would be nearly impossible. I would have to go get a bot, which are not in the game right now. I'd have to give it a set amount of health, look at how many bars it lost, and then see if I can make a formula to cut that down and calculate exactly how much per second. It's so high that basically you don't want to stand in the laser. And what you want to do is basically use that on the point or when enemies are all confined into the same area, so as to surprise them. But so many people actually sit there and bitch, like, oh, it's too much, oh, it's insane, why is there so much damage? When they volunteer and basically walk right into the laser, then say it's OP because they can't walk right into a giant laser beam. Anyway, moving on to the other abilities, the Harrier also has an ability known as a Supercharger. This device, when thrown on the ground, will start spawning these little, like, pickups, and these little pickups will give you 100 health over time. And it will actually continue giving you that 100 health over its time period, or the time frame that it's supposed to be active, until that 100 number is reached. So you can actually be gaining health while in the middle of a gunfight, but not when directly damaged. So if you're under the effects of this regeneration, you get hit during a gunfight, then you back away around a corner, the regeneration will continue until it's completely used up, which I think is a really fun thing. Then we move on to the fuel. This pickup also instantly refuels Juggernaut's fuel bar, Harrier's fuel bar, Battle Medic's fuel bar, Gunslinger's teleport charges, Assassin's grapple charges, Enforcer's fuel bar, and Vanguard's fuel bar. It does not work, however, for the Wraith or the Titan classes. The Wraith does not use a fuel bar. He uses basically magical jumping ability to make him do triple jump, so it doesn't count for him. He moves right through it, doesn't pick it up. And the Titan has no fuel bar to begin with, so you don't have anything to replace there. I have a few personal tips I want to throw in here. You can throw packs on a wall in 0G to regain your fuel instantly. So let's say you burn all of your fuel trying to get to the point quickly, and you need a pick-me-up, or you're being chased and you really need fuel to get away. Aim yourself towards a wall, float towards as fast as possible, and throw a pack at the wall right as you hit it. Or do this on the floor, on whatever surface you're standing on or you're directly contacting, and it will immediately refuel your charge, no delay, which is really cool. The Raycasters are great for grabbing an objective and making a hasty retreat back to base. So you can, say, grab the Blitz Ball and go to the enemy's base by Raycasting backwards with your jet boots. And then, right as you run out of fuel, just point towards the ground, throw a pack down, and then immediately gain your fuel back and do the same thing again. Now, you can't infinitely do this, obviously, but it is pretty fun to do. Don't forget to use WASD when you are using your ult, because you can make minor adjustments. A and D will go left and right, but then it changes the orientation, so W and S will go up and down, respectively, rather than forward and backward. And then the Raycaster jet boots can actually be used kind of like a second gun. So if you're in a close range fight with, say, an Assassin or a Wraith, and you're running out of ammo, or you just want a really cool kill, you can just hold S and shift and head backwards with your Raycasters, shooting fiery beams of death from your boots. I think that's just really, really fun. And that is it for the Harrier guide. I think I covered all the personal tips and all of the data. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, then you know what to do. Like, subscribe, check out my streams, Twitch in the description below, or go to twitch.tv/ReapTheRager. I'll see you guys in the next video. Reap the Rager, signing off.